Welcome. Today we're going to address the topic of when do you read syntopically that Craig asked me. Actually, a few people have asked me, but I'm just going to highlight Craig's comment. Before we do that, let's talk about the ways to support the channel. Number one is to become a patron at patreon.com/CurtisMcHale. Number two is to take one of my courses. Specifically, you're probably interested in the one on Zettelkasten. You can find that below in a link, or you can go to curtismchale.ca/Skillshare, and right there you can go to Skillshare and sign up, take one of my courses. Zettelkasten is probably the one that you're most interested in, and then I'm just going to start doing the work to put together one on reading, which will tie up to this. All right, now let's talk about when to read syntopically. So let's just read Craig's question right off. It says, hi, I hope you're doing good. I've been reading how to read a book, and I've seen you suggested a number of times. I grasped the elementary and inspectional reading. However, the analytical bit has left me overwhelmed. I've read your blog post in 2016 because I actually reviewed this book, which helped me, but then the syntopical part comes along and overwhelms me again. I know you read a lot while having a lot of other commitments and other things to do. How often do you find yourself reading at those deeper levels? I feel like I would read a book every 6 months following it. So let's first start by saying that there is, I guess, 4 levels of reading. There's basic for comprehensional or elementary reading. There's 2 is inspectional reading. So you just read a little bit deeper into it. I'm going to actually talk about those 2 levels in the future in my course. Number 3 is analytical reading. Number 4 is syntopical reading. So what is analytical reading? That's the first question. Analytical reading mainly concerns itself with understanding what the author is trying to say, and is the purpose that the author had in the book, does it actually get accomplished? And if it gets accomplished, then does it get accomplished well, is the big question. I actually read analytically most times, and I have been for a number of years. So like all my book reviews are kind of an analytical review of a book. So Craig, I read analytically a lot, and I think that as it took me a long time at first, and as I have read more, I go a little deeper into it, or it becomes easier is probably the best way to say it. It just becomes easier as you do it more because your brain is kind of wired, I guess, wired that way so that you learn to do it faster and better. And now, syntopical reading takes analytical reading up a notch because you read across a genre, across ideas really, to dive into how does each author address this same topic. So this may mean, actually I did in a video, the dip versus range, there'll be a link up above and below actually, where I thought that when I first started it, because really looking at it syntopically, just at those 2 books, not the whole field, but those 2 books, I thought, hey, these do not line up. But then as I wrote more about it, I realized they do actually line up. And I talked about that in the video. And so I basically took the 2 authors' ideas and combined them and said, like, where do they line up? What type of language are they using? How does the language match up between each one? And how does it not match up between each one? Where do they differ from it? And that's what syntopical reading is. You go through a field and you say, one guy calls this thing A, the next person calls this B, the next author calls it C. I'm going to use this one word that encompasses all these ideas because they're actually the same. The authors just use slightly different language for that. Now, to finally answer Craig's question, how often do I read syntopically? Not a lot. That's it. Just not a lot because it takes so much work. So when I read a book and if I say, hey, this does actually match up with previous things I've read, then I may actually go into it and say, I'm going to do a little bit of syntopic reading on this, or like I'll dig into my Zettelkasten and start normalizing some of these ideas there, and then I'll go on to whatever the next topic is. If I'm really going to read, so like when I'm talking about the book for reading, I've got 3 or 4 books. So I've got my Zettelkasten up here so I can tell you on another screen. Courses. Let me see if I can share my screen with you. There we go. So you can see, as I look at this, I have my reading well, and as I go through how to read a book, the reading mind, the reading in the brain, and then I know that Xiaomi has something, I don't actually remember what it was. I was doing this in a course last night where I was talking to people about how to do good research. If you're interested in taking a course with me on how to set up your research process and just talk about research, how I do it, and help you build up that, then let me know in the comments. and I will start another one. Well, I'm recording this March 27th, so I probably won't start this till after April. So May, June time is when I'm looking at it, but let me know below and I will let you know how to get in touch with me. So as I go through this, I'll specifically read syntopically into this topic, but in general, I am not reading syntopically unless I think, oh, wait, this reminds me of some other idea, and that I really want to dive into that idea. So that's it. I don't read syntopically all the time. I read syntopically when the mood strikes me, when I'm like really interested, or when I have a specific project that requires syntopical reading. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your question, Craig. If you liked the video, thumbs up below. If you loved it, you subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube will let you know what happened, because it actually works, I'm told. Other ways to support the channels: number one, to become a patron at patreon.com/CurtisMcHale. Number two is to take one of my courses, Skillshare, links below. I also have a Discord channel, link below. And if you're interested in learning how to do research, learning how I organize my system and getting some help setting your system up, then let me know in the comments and I will open up a new research course. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.